Welcome to the All Average Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Brandon BT Taylor. This week we are recording due to something that came up. I won't be able to go live on Thursday. This video version of this podcast will air live on our socials, but audio, maybe clips, everything else will be aired throughout the week. This is our Royal Rumble preview show. We'll get to that. I have some AEW thoughts that I kind of want to reiterate from last week due to shitty audio from last week. So a lot of the discussion from the week before did not make it to air, which is a shame. So I'm going to kind of reiterate some of my points there and just some other stuff that I can think of if it pops up. But Royal Rumble this Saturday in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we got the men's Royal Rumble match. AJ Styles versus Gunther. If Gunther wins, the career of AJ Styles is over. We have the women's Royal Rumble match, and we have Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn for the WWE Championship. Let's get Sami out of the way first. Drew is going to win that match. I don't see a scenario where Sami Zayn wins the WWE Championship this Saturday at all. I think we're probably about a year out from potentially talking about a Sami Zayn world title reign as of right now. But heading into Mania, Drew should be a champion going in. Drew is my pick to win Saturday. I think he'll go into Mania as champion. I kind of don't like the direction that it's probably going to go in, and that is Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. Because we don't need Cody in that match. Give the WWE Championship picture a break from Cody for a bit. You could do Cody versus Roman, not for the title, if you truly want to do Cody Roman 3, which is what they really wanted to do. They teased it at the end of Survivor Series. They obviously wanted to do it. Just do it. You don't need a title for it. You don't need a championship for it. I'd rather Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu at Mania for the WWE Championship. Braun versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then pretty much coming out of Mania, you establish two solidified main event stars in Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu. I feel like that'd be a win, a massive win for WWE, who gets criticized for, oh, you don't have any young stars. No young stars. Well, you just solidified two and you gave them at least one of them the main event of night one. And then the other one, a major world championship win at your biggest stage. I don't see why we can't do that. And I don't see the point of a triple threat really getting us to that. I mean, yeah, maybe Fatu wins that, but I kind of find that hard to believe. I honestly think if it's a triple threat match at Mania, Cody is going to win that match, I think. I don't think Drew's walking out of Mania WWE champion. So I'd rather do Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre for WWE Championship and then have Cody and Roman do their third and final match and get that out of the way. Just get it out of the way. So back to the Rumble. Drew McIntyre is my pick to beat Sami Zayn. I got it from Pin. The next match, AJ Styles versus Gunther. If Gunther wins, AJ Styles' career is over. Now, there's an interesting thing AJ said. AJ said, my WWE career ends if he loses, which started the spark of a lot of people in the IWC, specifically on X, that now the door is open. AJ is going to AEW, and this. I'm not ruling AJ Styles out of potentially wrestling AEW if he truly wants to continue his career. If he loses this Saturday, which I believe Gunther is going to win, I think this Saturday is the final match for AJ Styles in WWE and most likely his career, because I do believe he's retiring for good after this weekend. But let's play the hypothetical game here. He just loses this Saturday, and he does a little one-off run here and there at other places. He's not doing a legit retirement run in AEW. And if he did go to AEW, there's one, maybe two matches that make sense. He's not doing Ospreay. I don't think he's going to make it that far into the year still wrestling. I don't think it's going to be like a Cena thing where he's wrestling until literally the end of the year. I don't see that. And Ospreay may be cleared by April, maybe. But at that point, you're building Ospreay for the AEW World Championship in all likelihood. So you're not really fitting in AJ versus Will Ospreay there. I think if he does do an appearance in AEW, it's one or two matches. The one match I think that'd be the guarantee is Kenny Omega. Fill up that loose end from when he left New Japan. And that's a match a lot of people have wanted to see. Granted, it's 10 years too late, but it's still a match that can draw. People will pay to see Kenny Omega versus AJ Styles in 2026 still, regardless of how somewhat cashed Omega has looked. AJ can still go. You saw it on Saturday. Omega, with the right partner, he can still go. Like, it's a match that can draw. The other one, Samoa Joe, just because rivalry, whatever. But my opinion is, I think he loses this Saturday, and that's it. He signs a Legends deal with WWE. He goes into the TNA Hall of Fame first, and then maybe next year he does WWE Hall of Fame. He goes in the Hall next year. But I think Gunther wins. I think Gunther retires AJ. I feel like AJ is the kind of person that, just like Cena, if he loses a career threatening match or says he's done, he's done. I don't see AJ doing like one-offs in like New Japan, AEW, maybe TNA, which is, I believe, a long shot at this point. But we'll wait and really see. But my opinion is, I think Gunther's going to beat AJ Styles this Saturday. I think AJ is going to tap out. I think AJ will submit. And Gunther continues his career killing gimmick he's on, which low-key doesn't make sense considering he is 40 and he's calling everyone old timers when he's technically almost there as an old timer. But yep, give me Gunther by submission over AJ Styles this Saturday as AJ's career ends. Now on to what I believe is probably the most unpredictable match on the entire card, and that's the Women's Rumble match. Because there's a lot of ways you can go here. In my opinion, I think it's probably 3 or 4 women that I can see winning this. Rhea, a returning Bianca, Io, Charlotte Flair as a year-long redemption thing. You know what they do. And then the other one, which is a hard maybe, Tiffany Stratton. I don't see it being anyone else because they haven't built really anyone up for you to really sit there and be like, I think they should win the Women's Rumble. I believe in them. They're really in line. The only other one is Raquel, but she's getting a title match literally next Monday. So I think that takes her out. Oh, 6. Liv. Liv's another one that I can see winning it. I don't know if this is Liv's year. But it could be. I think it's all dependent on if Bianca's cleared, because Bianca is my pick to win the Rumble. If Bianca isn't cleared, I think it is probably going to be Liv, because I don't think you're doing Rhea. versus Stephanie at Mania, especially with Rhea with the tag titles. I think you're doing something involving Rhea and Io, whether it's one-on-one or defending the tag titles. I don't know if it's too early to pull the plug on the Alexa Bliss Charlotte Flair partnership, but I do know that if you end the partnership just so Charlotte can go after a world title, the last year that you spent trying to make goodwill with Charlotte with the fans and have her get over it, that will go away like that. Gone. As my finger completely disappeared because of the green screen right there. Sorry about that. But I don't know about that. Io, same boat. Rhea, I can see them winning, but at the same time, I think it's probably smart enough to keep them away from the world title for this Mania. Yeah, I really think this Rumble is really unpredictable, but I also think it's very dependent on, is Bianca cleared? Because if she's cleared, Bianca should be the winner. And your WrestleMania match this year should be Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's Championship. Who I think will have the most eliminations in this match, I believe that will be Lash Legend. I think we'll get an AJ Lee return in this. I think she'll eliminate Becky, if Becky's even in the fucking Rumble. I think Kyrie will accidentally eliminate Asuka to set up that potential feud. And I'm trying to think who would come out as like the unsung hero, the breakout star of the Rumble match last year's Roxanne, which I really call Roxanne a breakout star because we knew what Roxanne was capable of. I feel like this year it might be Sol Ruka if she's in the Rumble. That's if she's in it. Like, I don't know. It'll probably be her. Sol Ruka as the breakout star of the Rumble. Even though I don't even know if you can call her a breakout star, considering she beat Bayley at Saturday night's main event. Before I get to the men's Royal Rumble match, I want to talk about potential surprises in the men's Rumble match to begin with. Oba's confirmed, no longer a surprise. Ray might be out. I would guess Jericho returns here. I feel like if Jericho is not back this Saturday, I don't think he's going to be back until after Mania. Because I can't think of where you'd really put him. Because he's not going to be around really in February. He's not. He has the concert with Fozzy. So then really you're going to have a month to build Jericho up in a feud. Really reintroduce him and then make it make sense why he's back. And then get him in a WrestleMania match. I think Rumble makes the most sense. I think you do the classic. This person eliminating the Rumble, there's your Mania matchup for Jericho. Whoever eliminates them or whoever he eliminates to really piss off, whatever, that's Jericho's Mania match. Pretty simple. You don't really need Jericho there until probably like the final few weeks, month, to start building that match. I feel like for Jericho, if he's not back this Saturday, I don't think he'll be back until after Mania. Powerhouse Hobbs, who is set to reportedly be Royce Keys. There's another one. If he's not debuting here, which I wouldn't, because I feel like this Rumble should be to really establish Oba Femi as this dominant force. It's kind of hard to do that when you got Powerhouse Hobbs in there, who you need to establish as some dominant force right off the gate, too. My opinion, I wouldn't debut him here. I can see them debuting him here, but I would wait until the NXT ladder match, put him back with Ricky, and then you're doing WrestleMania weekend. By then, you probably fast burn. I don't know if that's even correct how you say it, but you speed up a potential turn between the two. Ricky starts treating Hobbs like shit right off the bat, and this, that, and the other. And then your NXT Stand Deliver main event is Royce Keys versus Ricky Saints for the NXT Championship, and that's Ricky's send up. But as for surprises in the Rumble, I feel Brock's going to be one. I feel like because it is in Saudi Arabia, I feel like there's going to be one major one that no one's thinking of. And part of me wants to say Austin due to the reports that Austin is set to appear at some point during the road to WrestleMania. I can see Austin entering the Rumble here. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't. I think they're going to save their chips, cash in all their chips for next year's Mania and go heavy on the past stars like Rock, Austin, etc., and make that as star-studded as they can. But I feel like there's going to be someone we're not expecting and that we're not thinking of, not like a debut or anything, or like they left the company and now they're back. Like just someone we're not thinking of that's going to appear at this Royal Rumble. And I think it's going to be because it's in Saudi Arabia. My pick to win the Rumble, I said it on the DJ and Heel show. I believe it's going to be Roman. I think it's leaning towards Roman. I don't think they're doing Braun Punk anymore. I don't even think they're doing Drew Roman. I think we're going to get to Mania. I think we're going to get Punk Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship and that your night 2 main event. I feel like with Reigns, I feel like it's a safe pick right now for them. Wouldn't be for me because I would go Braun Breaker and let him continue this momentum he has right now, and then Mania be his crown achievement main event of night 1. But it really feels like they're going to go with a safe option more than a risk because last year they took a risk and that shit didn't pay off in Jey Uso, which is kind of unfair to like Braun Breaker because Braun Breaker is more of a main event caliber star than Jey Uso is or was at this point last year. So that's my Rumble thoughts. My final 2, I believe, is going to be Cody and Roman in the Rumble. I think we're going to get that standoff just so they can say, oh, we did Cody and Roman again. Just for like a split second, get that tease, whatever. That's going to be your final 2 in the Rumble. I have some AEW thoughts too. So to reiterate something I said last week, which got cut off because of the shitty audio issues between StreamYard and it's mainly between StreamYard. Shit. I had to take about AEW, and I've sat on it for almost a week and let it marinate a little bit. And I stand by it. AEW are the Los Angeles Clippers of pro wrestling. And here's why. AEW has the talent. They have the roster. Stacked as can be. Los Angeles Clippers. Maybe not this year, but in years past. Lob City years. The early stages of Kawhi and Paul George. They had the talent. They had the roster. They have an owner who has passion for this and anyone would love to work for. That's Tony Khan. Tony Khan has the passion for professional wrestling, and he seems like a boss that anyone would love to work for. But just like the Clippers, They can have all the talent in the world, all the passion, all the fans, is that and the other. Then each fan base, just like Clippers, you don't really run LA, it's the Lakers. You don't really run professional wrestling, it's WWE. Something with AEW doesn't click. And I don't know what it is. I don't think anyone really knows what it is, why it's not clicking. We can blame creative all we want, but like, it just, AEW gives you the great matches, just none of it makes sense. WWE gives you, for the most part, subpar matches and subpar PLEs, but the stories, for the most part, make sense, or at least attempt to make sense. With AEW, I don't know if it's better storytelling. I don't even think it's better storytelling. It's just make your shit make sense. Just make it make sense. And I think with WWE, it's just you need to, it needs to be better creative wise. I think both companies have a creative issue right now. MJF's the world heavyweight champion for AEW. No offense, I don't think most people really give a shit about this reign right now. And we're only about what, a month in. He faced Bandito, great match. He has Swerve going after him, Omega going after him, Brody King going after him. Literally all three are beating high quality opponents. And I've used that in air quotes because Kenny Omega this week is facing Rocky Romero for some reason. Fucking Adam Page, I guess, is now out of the world title picture because he's now the trios champion with Jet Speed, who didn't need to lose last week. You didn't need them to lose. Oh yeah, throw Joe in for another one chasing him. So you have Revolutions in May. You have the Australia Grand Slam in February. I want to say that's like 3 weeks from now. 3 or 2 weeks from now. Pretty much, I think either one of those four has to challenge MJF for the title at that event, or you need to come out of the Grand Slam event in Australia with a clear contender and a challenger for MJF at Revolution. Got to start building the Revolution now, because it is very unclear right now on who you're going with. And the contenders you're building, aside from Brody King, they're guys you don't need to be building. They're already established. They don't need to rattle off some wins. Like, they just started off into the company. Few wins, okay, 1, 2, maybe 3 makes sense. They're already established main eventers. All you're doing is feeding guys to them that A, doesn't make sense, B, doesn't really benefit from it, and C, doesn't need to lose. Well, Kevin Knight main evented Dynamite last week. Kevin Knight didn't need to lose, especially not even a week after he won the Trios title. Mike Bailey didn't need to lose last week. You easily could have put 2 other people in there and it would have been fine. Would have been fine. But nope. We had to crown new Trios champion, and next week we have them lose to Samoa Joe and Swerve Strickland. What did it do for them? It's not going to do much for them. Not going to do much for them. And then the WWE side, I'm not even get to NXT because NXT is virtually unwatchable. And yes, it's developmental, but their shit really doesn't make sense. And they've gotten a lot of passes lately because Sean had a good creative year in 2024. 2025 was meh. And then so far this year, heading into this year, nothing's made sense of NXT. So I'm gonna ignore NXT here for this one. It's getting a little better, but just once again, Who on the SmackDown side are we building? Who building up? Trick might be the only one. Trick, and I can't even tell you what it clearly looks like he's doing for Mania. I guessed on the DJ and Hill show, I think they're doing Trick for Mania, but like stuff just it doesn't make sense right now. A lot of the stuff that WWE's doing, Finn Balor fighting for the world title after not winning a singles match since I think September, doesn't make sense. And then what the fuck is it? You have oh wow, I'm choking on my spit here. Fuck, lost my train of thought here. Oh well, we'll get back to it in a second when it comes back up. Is what it is when you're recording. But you have on the SmackDown side, Jade Cargill has won the women's championship back in November. If I'm correct, she's defended once, if not at all. Like, I don't think that nothing that's going on right now makes fucking sense. And like, we're in the Mania season. Their build to Rumble has not been good. The building of the stadium has had a better build up than the Royal Rumble. Like, we're just getting it's the same nonchalant, like, ooh, well, let's half-ass it, let's cash it in. And that's really what's been WWE creative for the last, I want to go since last year's Mania. Although you can make the argument it started a little bit before. But let's really last year's Mania when shit really hit the fan with that main event. That's when everything started to change kind of creatively for WWE. And you can just tell, regardless of what Unreal shows, it legitimately looks like Triple H half-asses. And he's half-ass involved. And they just run some by him and you go, yeah, okay, whatever. Hey, check. And that's really it. Because there is a legit difference between how he's created his creative now. And I'll even argue when TKO Endeavor, whatever, just bought it. And it's not TKO's fault they're handcuffing him. No, TKO, Nick Khan of them, they don't interfere with his creative. The one time they truly interfered with his creative was The Rock. That's it. Everything else, that's on Triple H. His shit doesn't make sense. And it's kind of weird that out of all the WWE product things right now, the best thing going on is AAA. And that's insane. And I'd argue AAA this week's show wasn't really that good, but it's insane that the best show going on under the WWE umbrella is AAA, who most of the WWE fans outside of Mr. Iguana, La Parca, Octagon Jr., and Dr. Wagner, maybe, and Vikingo can't really name most of the stars on that roster. And that's not a shot at the AAA roster because they're fucking good. They're really good. And then, so now before I head off, TNA is going to air Thursday. They fucked up and accidentally leaked or revealed Eddie Edwards will win the Feast or Fired World Heavyweight title briefcase. If I saw it correct, they also fucked up and leaked that Trey Miguel is going to win the international title briefcase one, which means either Eric Young or Steve Macklin will receive the Fired briefcase. I think unless Eric Young is retiring or stepping away from in-ring competition and taking a backstage role with TNA, I think Steve Macklin is the one that gets the Fired briefcase, and I think he's probably on his way to AEW to join Josh Alexander, his wife. I mean, Macklin might be a good building block for ROH because I don't think he's going to do much in AEW unless they're going to shove him in the Don Callis family and he could be member 84. But yeah, I think if I had to make my guess, I think Eric Young will get the X Division one and Steve Macklin ends up getting fired. Um, that's all I have right now. Hopefully we'll be live next week for post Rumble. If not, it'll be re-recorded again. I am your host, Brandon B.T. Taylor. Remember to check out the DJ and Hill show this Sunday at Sunday at 5. I assume they're going live at 5. And yeah, be on the lookout for stuff. Adios.